is good, it's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and talking about the new rush agendas that are coming to the agendas as well as pack market tomorrow. And NBA 2K24 MyTEAM, how good are these rush players going to be? Is it going to be worth your time grinding for these cards or not? Now, I think it's important to acknowledge that, again, this is free content come tomorrow. So, obviously, the first week, I feel like for Austin Reaves, I gotta say, Austin Reaves is so good. But the grind for Austin Reaves was just really long, in my opinion. Then we got it followed up by a way easier grind for James Worthy. James Worthy's not quite as good for Austin Reaves, or as Austin Reaves, but that's what we've seen so far. So, as we can see in this tweet, new rush players dropping tomorrow. Galaxy Up Danny Granger, Pink Diamond Allen Iverson, Chandler Parsons, as well as Diamond Point Guard Tyreke Evans, as well as Tony Allen. Those are the cards we do know for sure is coming tomorrow. Now, I'm intrigued because, I mean, last week we saw James Worthy, and so back-to-back weeks we're seeing small forward, power forward. That's really intriguing to me. And then if we look at Danny Granger specifically to this year, obviously he has that Haywood Highsmith base. I'm intrigued to see what that Haywood Highsmith base would be like on very quick. You know, that's the one thing I kind of want to see. A lot of times, I feel like releases on normal compared to on quick or very quick aren't going to change a lot. I feel like if that release does get sped up, could be a really solid release. What else does Danny Granger have? Well, let's take a look. He does have the basic dribble style normal leaner. So, I mean, newsflash, guys, for Danny Granger to be good, he needs updated SIGs with that release on very quick at the very minimum. I mean, that's what Danny Granger is going to need for him to be that good. I mean, with James Worthy, we knew he had the John Wall base. We knew he would be really solid. With Danny Granger, he is going to need to see some improvements. Next, let's move on to Allen Iverson. The problem with Allen Iverson is this. He's 6 feet tall? I mean, I don't know if you can make a good AI card this year, even with his decent dribble SIGs, even if you do give him an updated release. He's still only going to be 6 feet tall, so even if you make him way better offensively, you know, even on the defensive end of the court, he's still going to struggle. AI going to be absolutely dog water, absolutely horrible. Chandler Parsons up next. We do already have one Chandler Parsons card from this year. Tyler Hero base on normal. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but the Tyler Hero base is not great this year. MJ dribble style normal leader. Nice part about Chandler Parsons is he is 6'9". Like, if there is a benefit to hyping up Chandler Parsons, he does have decent height, decent frame, but he's only 6'9" as well. Honestly, for their respective tiers, I gotta say we're 0 for 3 so far. I think Danny Granger definitely has potential. Allen Iverson stinks. And unless they change a lot with Chandler Parsons, I don't think that card is great either. So I'm going to go on record for saying so far with what I've looked at, what I've seen so far, we're 0 for 3 on the 3 cards I've talked about. Then we see Tyreek Evans, who I actually do think has a lot of potential. 6'6" at the point guard position. Evan Fournier base, that gets to, it's probably just going to still be on normal with Dame dribble style normal leader, but he's at least 6'6", and he's probably going to have solid defense. I mean, if we go back to last year's cards, and we look at like a Tyreke Evans that we saw in late January, here's what you were looking at. You know, defense, offense, decent, but playmaking was really solid. Obviously, had the Evan Fournier base last year as well. But he's a 6'6" point guard. I think that's kind of the most potential we've gotten thus far when I'm looking at these cards. Danny Granger doesn't excite me. Both the Pink Diamonds aren't super exciting. At least with Tyreke Evans, a 6'6" point guard that defensively is probably going to be solid. Now, do I think they're going to change a bunch of his releases and stuff? Well, I mean, we'd have to go back to last week's rush set. They don't really change a lot of these releases. Markelle Fultz base stayed the same. You look at Matt Harping, he didn't get his release on quick. So a lot of these releases, especially for diamonds, pink diamonds, they're going to stay the same. So that's where I think Tyreke Evans is really going to be limited on how good he can be. I don't think they're going to give, you know, the Tyrese Evans card, you know, the Evan Fournier base on quick. I just don't think it's probably going to happen. Could it happen? Absolutely. And if it does happen, then we might be looking at a Tyreke Evans card who, you know, can play at any sort of level. Right now, still think for beginners he's going to be solid, just not necessarily great. And then last card we know that is coming tomorrow is Tony Allen. Now, Tony Allen last year did have some solid cards. Obviously, the 16-bit card with the Pat Ewing base and very quick MJ dribble style. You know what you're getting out of Tony Allen. He is going to be absolutely fantastic on the defensive end of the court. Offensively, though, he's going to struggle. You know, the Pat Ewing base is going to be what he has tomorrow on normal. Again, offensively going to absolutely struggle. Meanwhile, defensively, guys, I'll sit there and hype up Tony Allen. Yes, I do expect the card to be really solid defensively. To be honest, I think this is a big letdown coming tomorrow. And I'm not trying to hate on the rush agendas, because I actually like what 2K has done with the rush agendas recently, but this is not it come tomorrow. I mean, Danny Granger could be solid. I'm not going to sit there and hate on it. And it might be one of those things, 2K dropped the Galaxy Opal Bronze today just for Danny Granger to be better for than him tomorrow. That could totally be the case. But outside of Granger, when I'm looking at Allen Iverson, when I'm looking at Chandler Parsons, when I'm looking at Tony Allen, those cards are going to stink. Tyreke Evans is really our only hope. But again, if they aren't willing to change the release of him, I mean, you got to really put a limit on how good you think the card's going to be. And I'm not trying to sit here and hate, because I think, you know, the potential is definitely there for like a Tyreek Evans card. But if he doesn't get that release on quick, I don't think the card's going to be great. And I honestly think then Danny Granger becomes the guy to really look at with this drop. So, again, I'm not trying to sit there and just hate on this drop tomorrow, because I want this drop to be good. I want it to be something on the No Money Spent Squad series I can grind. But maybe this is one of those drops that it won't take super long to do, but the content is just going to be super mid. So maybe you'll be able to get Danny Granger in, like, I don't know, a couple of hours. And maybe it's just like, well, I mean, at least it's something to look at here for the MyTEAM community. So maybe that's where we're going. You know, Austin Reeves obviously was the hardest grind. He's probably the best player. James Worthy wasn't nearly as good, but was a solid player. Danny Granger probably not even going to be as good as James Worthy. But again, as long as he's not like a super long grind, then I don't think as a community we can overreact and get super mad. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are like, Ty, be quiet. Like, we need a really good content always in 2K and MyTEAM. And if that's you, like, I mean, I'm with you, man. I want these cards to be really solid. I just think it's not really fair to expect that week in, week out, especially if the grinds are going to get easier. So that's where I'm at with this content. I mean, honestly, guys, is this content something that, like, is really exciting to me? Not really. And I know a lot of people are probably in that same type of boat, but it is still, at the end of the day, content that we got coming tomorrow. I mean, it's free content. What I would do tomorrow morning, again, load up the TyDeBo vid, see the worth it, and then I'll let you know if it's worth grinding or not. And then I'll break down what the agendas are looking like. If Danny Granger gets that Haywood Highsmith base on very quick, I think he has a lot of potential. You know, how good is he going to be, I think is a tough question for me to answer. But I think the potential of Danny Granger, again, if he gets that release on very quick, is definitely there. Let me know your thoughts on these 5 players we do know are coming tomorrow. Again, it's not something right now I'm super excited about, but we'll see tomorrow. Danny Granger gets that on very quick, maybe a new dribble style, then we might have to sit there and at least give him some, and entertain the idea of him playing on a squad. For now, guys, again, if you're grinding the LeBron stuff and you know, doing that, you're getting some really solid cards, because it's not just for LeBron James, but Şengün looks really solid, as well as some of those other guys. So that's really where I look at right now, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this drop coming tomorrow. And again, it's really Danny Granger, Tyreek Evans, or bust, because AI, Chandler Parsons, Tony Allen, I do not think are going to get the job done. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.